Alright, so this is going to be a tutorial on how to solve the centers on 4x4 and 5x5 blindfolded. In this method, we're going to be using a slightly modified T-perm as our interchange. So instead of doing a T-perm standard like this with just outer layers, what we're going to be doing is instead of doing an R, we do a double R. Instead of the R prime, we do a double R prime. So it looks something like this. That's what it looks like on 4x4, on 5x5. And what this does is it swaps these two pieces and these two pieces on the center, as well as some of the edges and corners on the outer layer. And it only affects this top layer, which makes it very nice as an interchange. So first, we're going to be taking a look at how to solve the X centers. This is our buffer piece, U, B, R, and our position which we'll be shooting to is U, F, R. So for shooting two pieces in the bottom layer, what we want to do is, depending on which position it is, we want to swap it so it's in this DFR position here. And then we do a setup move, which is inner R2, D prime, inner R2, D, inner R2. And what that does is it swaps this piece and whatever position is in DFR. Then if we did our interchange, which is, or I guess our T-perm, then we undid the setup, which is just the same thing again. Inner R2, D prime, inner R2, D, inner R2. So as you can see, that swapped this piece and this piece. So for shooting to pieces on the top layer, it's very straightforward. If we want to shoot here, we obviously just use the T-perm as it swaps these two, the buffer and this position. If we wanted to hit to these two pieces, all we need to do is inner L2, and that brings it into the bottom layer. So for example, if we wanted to solve this piece, we'd bring it into the bottom layer, do a D to bring it into the DFR position, and then just do our interchange, inner R2, D prime, inner R2, D, inner R2. Undo setup, and that would solve that piece. Likewise, for this one, it would just be the same thing except with the D2 to get it into the DFR position. Alright, so now we're going to be taking a look at solving to the left, right, front, and back faces. Now, with this, what we're going to be doing is either doing a slice like this to bring the UFR kind of position we're shooting to. We could either bring it here, down to here, here, or of course here. And depending on what is going to make a clean interchange, that'll be the determining factor when shooting to a position. So, for example, here we have this orange in our buffer position, and we say want to shoot it to here. What I would do in this case is bring our place where there, and then doing a sliced interchange from here to here, and then undo. Just a nice little 3-mover to get it inserted there. For this yellow, I'd see we need to be shooting it to here. Now what I would do in that case is bring it down into the front. So then we have a nice interchange from here, like that. Undo setup. Now with this red shooting to here, if we bring it down to here, we don't have a clean interchange. We can't really bring it to here, we wouldn't have a clean interchange. The only clean interchange would be to bring it down here, which kicks it out. So what we got to do is hide it off to the left side first, then bring this down, bring it back, and up. So it's just a little 4-mover. There we go. And in this case, just simple, we want the clean interchange, so we'll bring it down to here, this piece down to here. So then with one move, you can see that we're bringing it like that. Undo setup, or undo the move to bring it to the top layer, and then undo setup, like that. So for all the pieces in the left, right, front, and back, it's going to be some variation on that. Just experiment. I'm not going to quite go through them all just because they're quite intuitive. But yeah, it's always going to be a 3-move kind of insert kind of thing, unless you're shooting to a position where you need to hide it away first, in which case it'd be a 4-move. But again, just experiment. It's pretty simple. Alright, so now we're going to be moving on to the 5x5 blindfolded centers. Obviously we solved the X centers the same as the 4x4, and we'll be moving on to the cross centers. But before that, I just want to point out one little difference in between solving the X centers on 4x4 and 5x5. With the X centers on 4x4, shooting to these two positions on top is as easy as an L2 to bring it into the bottom layer and treat it as if it's a piece on the bottom layer. On 5x5, we can't do that because the algorithm swaps these two pieces and these two pieces. So if we do an L2, it'll swap this piece and this piece, which of course will scramble them when we do the T-perm, and that'll be a problem. So we have to just do like a little 4-move. So for example, if we wanted to shoot to this piece, we'd do like a slice, move it off to the side, bring back 4-move, and then just solve it as if it was this piece now, as if we were shooting to this target, which of course in this case would be like that to bring it to here. And same with shooting to this piece, it would just be the exact same thing, just interchanging this layer and this layer. So yeah, just a little side note. Alright, so now we're going to be taking a look at the cross centers on 5x5. Now these are extremely simple to do. First we'll take a look at solving to the bottom layer, just because it's the easiest. If, say example, we wanted to shoot to this position, all we need to do is do a setup move to bring it into this L slice. Then we just do an L2 to bring it into our position. This is our buffer in this case, and this is the position we're trying to bring our target to. So if we did our interchange, which is the T-perm, undid our setup moves, you can see we shot to that position. Solving to the top layer is pretty much a matter of bringing pieces into the bottom. If we're solving to here, obviously we're just going to do the T-perm with no setups. If we're solving to these two positions, say we wanted to shoot to here, we do an M2, which would bring it to this position. Then we just treat it like it's on the bottom. So we just do a setup move, undo setup, and that shoots to this position. Same exact concept when it's dealing with this. It's actually also the same concept when looking at this bar on the front and back, these two pieces, and then these two pieces. We just do an M to bring it into the bottom layer and then treat it like it's a bottom layer edge, or bottom layer center, rather. So it's a lot of just bringing pieces into the bottom layer and then using an L2 to interchange it into this position. So when solving for these two pieces on the left side and these two pieces on the right side, again, it's a simple matter of doing an interchange to bring it into the front, then down, and then treat it like it's on the bottom layer, bring it into position, then doing an L2. Now, it gets a little, that is a few setup moves, but it's kind of nice because it's rotationless, so, yeah. So finally, we're going to be taking a look at solving to these two pieces, like basically the pieces, the X or the cross centers on this middle layer. This is an extremely easy matter. Say if we wanted to shoot to here, we just do an inner L prime to bring it into this position. Same here. Bring it into here. And it's totally just a matter of moving this slice into a position where we can bring it into the top layer. So depending on the target, we just bring pieces into the top layer like that. Alright, so that covers it. That's all of the targets for the cross centers, which are just very, very straightforward. Now, if it either with the cross or the X centers, you have an odd number of targets, so you would have done the T-perm an odd number of times. It's always just as simple as doing an extra T-perm at the end, so to cancel it out and make it an even. Now, what I would do is I would just add an extra letter at the end of the memorization, which corresponds to either this position for the cross centers or this position for the T centers, for the X centers. Sorry. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Bye.